Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan Anderson and I'm a certified mind-body practitioner specialized in chronic dizziness recovery. Today I have the privilege of sharing with you my first ever recovery story interview with a woman who was exactly where you likely are right now. Stuck, frustrated, afraid, and not really sure what to believe. But she has made some absolutely incredible shifts and I cannot wait for you to see this interview. So let's dive in. Okay, thank you so much for being here with me, Diana. Welcome to the channel.
Hello, Megan.
All right, so for those who obviously don't know you, I would love for you to just share a little bit about yourself first, like your name and your age, where you're from.
My name is Diana. I'm from Bulgaria and I'm 19 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, this is you're so young. I mean, I know that you're an adult, but you're so young, and it's so unfair that people this young are affected by this. But I'm so happy to be able to share your recovery story today. So, if you wouldn't mind, you take the floor. Tell us everything, basically. What happened? When did this start for you?
Yeah, so everything started around when I was about to turn 18. I was already 18 when this all happened, but the period of those events were in one place. Um, my boyfriend and I were separated for 1 month, so we weren't together. Then we came back together after this 1 month and we started working together. But I got fired from my job in a Viber message because at that time I was having my most important exams for my school and for my graduation, and I sent them the screenshot because they wanted me to come earlier, and I was like, I can't. I have exam. Here is proof, and they were like, okay, then don't come at all.
Wow.
Yeah. So he worked 1 month after my firing, but then he decided to leave also. So yeah, that was the breakup and the exams and the work, everything. For this was a huge, huge stress.
Hmm.
And the thing that started it all was my dad actually passing out. I was about to go to buy peanut butter, and I noticed that, yeah, and I called the ambulance. He was fine. He wasn't even in the hospital, but it was all of these events was a huge stress for me because it was one on top of another on top of another, and the
Hmm.
thing with my dad just put the lid on it, and 2 days after that I got the symptoms actually, because
Wow.
I was afraid that the same thing will happen to me, even though it is silly because we are different persons. But
Hmm.
I was just chopping carrots in the kitchen, and the symptoms became like this. It was a split second, literally like this. I didn't feel all the days after that. It was just like this, and I felt a lot of uh fear around them. I was like, what is happening to me? Is it that my blood sugar is low? Is it my blood pressure? I got all this checked that night, but it wasn't this.
Hmm.
Yeah. At the beginning I thought it was this, it was that, and it wasn't. It was just stress, but it was the last thing that I thought of. I was like, I was stressed, but what is happening to me?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So when you had that split second, what did you feel? What happened in that moment?
Intense dizziness and intense fear for sure. It was the one the one came and the fear came also, and it was just like, oh, I don't know how to feel. My boyfriend was here in my place, and we were watching the Vampire Diaries, and actually 2 hours after the symptoms came for the split second, I felt like I'm gonna pass out, even though I haven't actually passed out, never.
Hmm.
But it was On top of the dizziness, at that moment that I felt this, I felt my heart beating, my toes and arms tingling, and intense fear, nausea, fatigue. It was just symptoms on top of symptoms on top of symptoms. It was just like here an intense fear and anxiety for sure. And nobody could help me. My mom was like, it's so hot in here. Is it because of the temperature? Is it because of this? Is it because of that? But the fear was for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds terrifying. I'm so sorry that you experienced that, honestly. And it's so interesting that the amount of people I've seen, they all have it start from such different triggers. You know, it could be it could start from anything, but everyone has very similar symptoms. And yeah, like you said, stress and kind of the emotional side of things is always the last place we look, right? Because we kind of want, in a weird way, we want something to be wrong physically so we can kind of correct it. Did you have the
Yeah,
same
and
experience?
we want a physical explanation for this, and if it's PPPD or vestibular migraine, we can't. Oh, MDDS, we can't have a physical explanation, and that's why we look at the wrong places. But at the same time, we have to have those places checked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that a little bit. Can you talk about your experience with the medical field? Did you manage to get a diagnosis quickly, or how long did that take for you?
No, I actually don't have a diagnosis because here in Bulgaria it's not registered as a diagnosis. So
Hmm.
it's basically impossible to have this. There is only one article in the internet that says PPPD is that you have to take SSRIs, you have to do this, you have to do that. It's basically nothing here. You have no information at all.
Wow.
So the next day I went to my GP, and she was like, go to this neurologist. I went there at the same day because here you can get to any specialist very quick, and I actually basically went to all of the specialists I can go to. I was at maybe four different neurologists,
Hmm.
two different cardiologists. It was just to one doctor, to another, to one to another. I went to ENT. I got also my lungs checked of picture. Yeah.
Like an
Uh,
X-ray, chest
yeah,
X-ray.
yeah, yeah, X-ray. And to a rheumatologist. I got my eyes checked also. I got literally everything and a lot of blood scans. Literally a lot. I was
Hmm.
like, from 1 to 2 weeks, I go to take my blood, and I was feeling so off because of this. Because one of the doctors actually wanted me to be hospitalized,
Wow.
and I was like, why? There is nothing wrong with me, as you can see from my results. And she was like, yeah, but this, but that. And she diagnosed me with something that I don't have, Raynaud's disease. But I don't have anything like this. It
Mm.
was so weird. The only thing
Mm.
I got was low vitamin D.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it
It's
was
interesting.
normal because it was winter.
Mm. Yeah.
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 And actually, at first, I was scared to go to an MRI, but I got to this also. I got head MRI and heart MRI. Basically, I got nothing from there, only chronic sinusitis, like my nose, but nothing that
Mm.
can explain the symptoms. Actually, I got nothing to explain why I have those symptoms.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
how was that journey? Because I know for me, not having answers from anyone was actually really scary. Did you feel the same? Were you kind of reassured that there was nothing wrong, or did you feel more fear?
At the start, I was like, "Oh, I'm so happy, nothing is wrong with me." But then I was like, oh, now I have to go to the other doctor to see this. Oh, now nothing is wrong with you again. Now go to the another one.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing is wrong. It was reassurance for the first day or two. Then it's just the same old story, going to doctors and not getting answers. It was not it was not scary for me to not have answers because I had the thing that I thought it was stress. I had it in the back of my mind, but I was searching for something else. So yeah, I just
Mm.
felt a little down for them not having an answer for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. It feels like in some way the medical field kind of fails people with chronic dizziness, especially. People talk about chronic pain and chronic fatigue a lot more than they do with dizziness, right? And it
Yeah,
hopefully, I mean, that is changing. We see that it's changing. But what on the kind of, and we're going to get to everything you did to recover very soon, but day to day, did your symptoms kind of change? Were they up and down, or were they kind of constantly the same? Did they get worse? What was the day to day like for you?
they were constantly like so intense for me because I couldn't do anything. Like I wanted to meditate because I did it before the symptoms and I couldn't. I was just feeling dizziness. I even when I go to sleep I felt it, and uh that was also a lot of fear for me to go to sleep, even though it's normal. I had it
Mm.
like constant, intense symptoms and fear, because there wasn't a time when they go down at all. Because I even felt dizzy in my sleep. I had dreams where I am dizzy. It was no relief at all.
Man, yeah, I'm so sorry. And actually, I really relate to you. I also had dreams where I was dizzy. It is crazy. I totally hear you. Um, so were you able to, I'm assuming you were not working during this time, is that right? Because you
No,
said you were at
actually,
school.
I am so avoidant of the symptoms. So I was in a form of education that I go only for exam because
Hmm.
you have this option, and I chose it,
Okay.
to go only for exam. So yeah, and I was working because it was my last year in school, and I was so avoidant of the symptoms. 1 week after they started, I was like, I want to distract myself somehow. I can't do anything. I can't read. I can't meditate. I can't play on my computer or do anything at all. I
Mhm.
just will start working. And I was working with kids in a place where you look at after them in the mall, and you also do parties with them if they have a birthday. So it was a lot of noise that also triggered me, and yeah, I worked, but I felt kind of I had moments that I feel better because of distracting myself there with cleaning something or this, and I was just like, oh, kind of feel better now. I am distracting myself. Maybe I don't focus on them.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. And do you find that that was a theme? Because with these kind of mind-body conditions, after we have ruled out everything else, we have no choice but to turn to the mind-body world, really. So, and typically for these types of conditions, it does tend to diminish a little when we are either positively or negatively distracted, maybe even for a few moments. Did you find that that started to happen a little, or was that just a one-time thing when you were cleaning?
yeah, for sure. I felt more dizzy when I was more anxious, and a little better when I was kind of distracting myself, but a full distraction, not distracting me because of fear, but distracting just because I have to, like, clean
Mhm.
this, do that, do this, do that, and after some time I just started feeling better because I just forget about them.
Yeah, that's amazing that you were able to do that though with so much fear. And I know that it might be kind of triggering to talk about how bad it was, but I think people kind of need to hear how bad it was and how you're not in that space anymore, right?
Yeah, I'm not
So,
for sure because then I had a lot of different symptoms. It was symptoms on top of symptoms on top of symptoms, and it's just now not like this. Yeah,
yeah,
because it was so different symptoms. It's so much better now.
yeah, and we're 100% going to talk about that. But how did these symptoms kind of affect you emotionally, let's say? Because physically, obviously, they are extremely difficult to deal with, but did you feel like you had emotional support during this time?
Basically no, because nobody knew exactly what I was going through. I mean, my mom was kind of like she doesn't say it directly, but she was like, "You have to kind of live like this for now," and I'm like, "No." So they didn't got me angry a lot, but sometimes there were one two times where I just kind of get sick of them and talk to my boyfriend things like, oh, I prefer to be bald than have those symptoms. Literally, I prefer to have zero hair on my head. Just
Yeah.
remove the symptoms, just to not have them.
Yeah.
Um, and just get frustrated like this. But
Mhm.
the most intense emotion that I felt was stress for sure, because I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally relate to that feeling of desperation. I honestly used to say that I would rather lose a leg, and that's crazy. I obviously that's extreme, but it just
Yeah.
shows you how desperate you can actually get when you're dealing with these sensations. So what kind of was there a specific moment where any kind of piece of information made sense to you? Did you look up triple PD on your own, or did a doctor mention that?
So at first I wanted my partner to look for information for me, but then I realized I had to look for the information myself. And I actually was at his place and I was looking at Instagram, and I typed chronic dizziness in the hashtags, and your profile came, and I was like, whoa, there are people going through the same thing and actually get better from it. Whoa, I can't believe this. I thought I am the only one.
I hear you. It feels so isolating. It really does. Yeah, I'm so happy that you found me, really, or anyone. I'm happy that you would have found anybody going through this. So what was your, when you saw my post and everything, what was your kind of initial reaction to the idea that this could be your nervous system?
I was kind of in the end of my medical journey, so I got the information a lot to myself and actually think it was
Mhm.
true and not doubted, because uh, already I got my medical clearance almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I found you in May. I started actually doing yoga in April, even though the symptoms are here. I just wanted to do it for myself. And got my last medical exam in June. Yeah, in June. So April yoga, May I found you, and the June last medical
Okay. And that was
examination.
May 2024, right?
Yeah,
Last
yeah,
year. Yeah.
2024. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the symptoms began because we didn't actually say the date. I know you said they were yeah, that you were 18. But what year did the symptoms begin then? Was it 2023?
Yeah, 2023 in the 28th of November,
You
actually.
remember the date? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So 28th of November up until May. So you had done that whole medical journey for, 6 months
Six
or so.
months. Yeah, yeah, six
Yeah.
months. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And you didn't still didn't have many answers, but at least you had medical clearance. You had the knowledge that, okay, maybe I'm not broken. Did you have a moment like that?
Uh, I got the moment a little bit late that
Mm,
I'm actually not broken, because I always thought that there is literally something wrong with me that I have to find, and the this message I got from you actually, and from the community, because yeah,
yeah. So you found me in May 2024.
yeah.
And then you did join my community in the recovery program, didn't you? Was that in like November 2024?
Yeah, it was late November, and I found you in May. I took the scripting challenge, maybe
Scripting
the 7
challenge.
day. Yeah,
Hmm.
because the whole summer I also focused on myself and tried to find some information about it, like anything that I could find was helpful
Hmm.
in the YouTube field, but it wasn't like this deep of an information for me, because I always was like, I need something more from this, not just something more from the
Yeah.
PPPD and MDDS information and all of this. I need more from this, but not from YouTube. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. 100%. So for those who don't know, the scripting challenge she's referring to is basically a 7-day journaling challenge where we get you to ask questions about your kind of limiting beliefs about your ability to recover. You know, do you believe that you can recover? And it starts to kind of get you to answer these um, in-depth questions about those beliefs. And it's also about helping you to script your life how you would want it to look once you are recovered. And did you find that was helpful to look a little bit deeper?
Yeah, for sure, because I always want to look deeper within myself. So it's okay for me
Mm,
to look deeper in the symptoms and why they
yeah,
are here. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I joined in November, but the whole summer was also a healing journey for me. But my symptoms started to become more intense in this time that I joined, because maybe I was like, it's 1 year will pass, is about to pass, and I'm still with the symptoms. I thought I
Mm,
can recover faster. So I just have to do something, and took the time for myself to really, really lock in and just focus on myself and the recovery and why the symptoms are here, just why, and not to get
mm.
rid of them, but understand them mostly.
Love that view. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's really it's such a big leap to go from desperately trying to recover, like shifting that energy to, okay, what if I just allowed this to unfold naturally? I don't have to force anything to happen, right? So when you first joined, I know that your symptoms were a little worse around that time. So how did it go for you? What did you do first?
Yeah, so the big thing for me was understanding that I am safe despite them, and that nothing will happen to me, because before that I didn't got that information that actually they are not that scary monster that will make me pass out. And actually in the psychological field, I know that they make you ask, okay, what is the worst thing that can happen? So actually answering that question, you understand that nothing scary will happen. Actually,
Hmm.
nothing is that scary. That yeah. So
Hmm.
just knowing that I'm safe, and they are, despite them being here, I'm safe.
Hmm.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
after 2 months of just understanding the emotional side of the things, I actually started walking more with my dog. I remember in um February, it was the time that I wanted to go out every day, and now actually I go 2 3 times out. Uh, yeah, for little walk. Like, let's say one is little, the other one is longer, but this actually helped me a lot, because now I do it consciously. I'm like, I go out and I will feel better and not symptomatic, because before when I go out I was like, oh, I will go out and get dizzy and just and
Yeah.
now it's not like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like there was any kind of, let's say, turning point in your mindset or in your recovery journey that made you feel like, okay, this is working?
Yeah, so maybe when I started to feel better and have days with no symptoms, I was like, this for sure will work for me, and I will stick to it.
Hmm.
Because having more, like the period when you have intense symptoms, and 2 months after that you have days with basically 0 to 0 symptoms.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
proof that it's working, and I'm like, yeah, this for sure is working. I will stick to it. No more medical things and stuff, because you see they didn't got your answer.
Yeah. So what do you think got you to those days of no symptoms? What were you doing on a daily basis?
Basically watching the recovery program a lot, and I think the answers to my questions in the group goals also helped me a lot, and were a reassurance that I'm safe. I don't know. I just feel it like it was good for me to ask those exact questions, got the
Mm.
answer, and just continue with my healing. So all of the information got me in a better emotional place, and after this better emotional place, the symptoms then became better because I was doing somatic tracking in the summer, but I also do it now sometimes,
Hmm.
and it's working for me also. Yeah, the somatic tracking and the breathing I was doing also, and the parasympathetic breathing, and there was a time where I did a Wim Hof breathing also.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. The Wim Hof
Yeah,
breathing is quite intense, isn't it? It's quite activating that breath.
yeah.
Mm.
It was fine for me for sure. I felt every after every breathwork session, let's say, I feel better for sure and more
Mm.
calm. And this is the whole point, to feel more calm and to know that you are actually safe because there is
Mm.
nothing physically wrong with you.
Yeah.
Uh, because the medical testing and all the exams and things are important, there might not be an answer for the people there, but knowing that you actually don't have anything wrong with you, it's also a message of safety that you can get. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. And a lot of people think that they have to dig really deeply into their past and their kind of repressed emotions and things. Did you think that that was a big part of your journey or not really?
Maybe yes, because I had a lot of trauma from my past,
Mm-hmm.
and I know the maybe first lesson from the program is about the parenting, and I got a lot from this because I live in a dynamic place where a lot
Mm.
of stuff happens.
Yeah.
And it was a good thing for me to journal about those things and my past experiences because I got a lot of trauma from there too. I'm a big perfectionist,
Hmm.
and um, I have some traits that I don't like, but when I journal about them, I understand why they're here and why do I act like this in some situations. Like the reason I went to work so early from the start of the symptoms was because I was so avoidant of them. But you
Yes.
don't always have to avoid them. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was a big thing. The uncovering my beliefs and everything that happened in the past and why I'm like this now.
Mm.
Because
And
the past actually shape one person in some ways.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And do you find that understanding your past, how did that help you in the present moment? What did you kind of start doing differently, maybe?
So in the times when maybe I'm more anxious, I remind myself that I'm calm, and when I'm want to do something in a perfect way, I remind myself that nothing is actually perfect.
Mm.
And uncovering this and that about myself, then you kind of get to know how to act in the future and how to react to those traits that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just kind of have to learn the things from your for yourself and why you are like this, and then find the solution how to act better in the present moment when you tend to be more perfectionistic about one thing or stress about another, but you don't actually need to stress about it. And yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge mindset shift. That is. Do you think that was the biggest mindset shift you had to make? Were there any other big shifts in your belief systems or mindset that you had to make as well?
No, maybe the biggest was that I just have to act differently in the moment to just
Mm.
make the future different.
Mm.
Because, like, the past is in the past, and in the present moment, you shift the future. Because the big thing that I got is if you act differently, more differently today than yesterday, you actually got but yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes. Yes. I used to say in the program and in the group calls, when
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you respond even a little bit differently today than you did yesterday, you are creating new neural pathways. You are shifting your patterns, which is incredible that you actually did that. You did that on a daily basis, and look where you are now. It's incredible to see, honestly. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was a big thing for me because responding differently in the moment for sure makes the future better for me.
Yeah,
For
and
sure, it was. I seen it for myself.
yes, absolutely. And it's not just responding differently to the symptoms, which is very important, obviously, and we might talk about that a little bit now, but it's also responding differently to life, right? To life
Yeah,
stress, to people that were previously triggering for you. We have to kind of sit back and realize, why is this triggering for me? Why am I still allowing this to be triggering for me? It's quite a spiritual journey, I feel we have to take to recover.
yeah,
Yeah. So when in terms of reacting differently to the symptoms, how did you manage that? When they came up, what did you do? What did you do? What do you think that the most helpful practice was in the moment?
yeah. So reminding myself that I'm safe for sure because like if I got intense symptoms, some of the times I just look at my partner and I'm like, yeah, I can see him. I'm safe. I am still here. Nothing is happening to me. I know they are a little bit intense now, but I am actually safe. I am in a safe environment, and if I feel the need to, I will maybe breathe in a few minutes or something, and maybe tomorrow I will also breathe also and in the morning because uh if you set your mindset differently in the morning and you're like today is not going to be like tomorrow and
Mhm.
today is going to be better, there will be no symptoms, and you kind of sometimes have to believe this, but even if you just say it, your subconscious mind gets that message, and you can just start your day better. Yeah, you can start your day better
Mhm. Yeah,
if
100%.
you program your mind like this in the
Yeah.
morning. And
Yeah.
yeah, this is it. I just remind myself that I'm safe, breathe in a few minutes, and just program my mind in the next morning to get
Amazing.
my at least get my day better, to start better. And
Yeah.
if it continues to be better, it's even more cool.
Absolutely. Yes. We kind of talk a lot about momentum in the program and in the community, right? This is a big thing for my journey and for most people's journey that I see. It's like the momentum when we have these sensations start. Of course, yours started with like instantly with a lot of fear and everything, and that momentum kind of just gets stuck on a loop, right? And it continues to snowball and it rolls down the hill and it's just kind of gone off on its own. But to we have to realize that, like you rightly said, today doesn't have to be like tomorrow. We can start right this second to start to shift that momentum bit by bit. And if we can wake up in the morning and say, I intend to look for evidence of well-being, that's my favorite mantra to say, um, we can start to slowly shift out of that. And you've done that so beautifully. It feels like I think a lot of people have this misconception that recovery has to include a lot of different practices and doing lots of different tools like meditation, somatic tracking. I mean, of course, those things are incredibly helpful, but it seems like you did somatic tracking and breath work and shifting your mindset. That seems like the top three.
Yeah, the most important thing for me was knowing that I am safe, and
Hmm.
to just get that message of safety, even though I just kind of say the symptoms are not scary and that I'm safe, nothing will happen and nothing actually happened to me in the past and nothing will happen in the
Hmm.
future. Yeah,
Yes.
just knowing that I'm safe, it was
Mm,
a big thing for me.
that's incredible. That's absolutely amazing. And so, through your journey, did you face any kind of flare-ups or setbacks? I don't like to call them setbacks. Um, But were the symptoms kind of up and down for a little while you were doing this work?
So when I was doing this work, actually the biggest setback was in November before joining the community because this was the time that they got more intense, and I was like, I
Hmm.
thought I'm getting better, even
Mm.
though I didn't quite do anything at all. Maybe let's say that. But after joining the community, I maybe didn't got a lot of setbacks because I knew I'm on the right path.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. And in November, do you find that there was anything that made that flare up happen? Do you kind of can you kind of pinpoint it to anything, or was it just felt
It
random?
was so random, yeah. I was going to train with my partner, and before getting out of the car, I got intense symptoms. And
Mm.
let's say 2 days after that, before sleep, I got also intense symptoms. And let's say 1 week after that, I got intense symptoms just because I, let's say, opened one door. It was so
Mm.
random, like the chopping carrots thing with the split second, it was the same. So,
Mm.
yeah, it was like vertigo attacks. But when I get them, I got intense fear, and then I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And now I know that
Mm.
I'm doing actually nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. Absolutely. And when you say vertigo attacks, do you mean like spinning vertigo, or was it like that, like when you first got it started, where the room
Like
felt,
first got it started, like
yeah,
I don't
felt
know,
big.
it was I didn't got any uh swaying or rocking, but the dizziness was for sure intense.
Hmm.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was just like basically I spent 10 times, but it's the constant day like this, like I just spin and just stay, and it was a constant business. And everybody that experienced this know that it's so horrific, and why I
Mm.
felt so intense fear when I first got them, because it was like both symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Yeah, it's crazy that your nervous system just kind of went, absolutely not. You're
Yeah.
gonna stop what you're doing immediately and listen to me. Yeah, that's wow. And just so we kind of have a list, I'm not going to talk about this again, but I think people need to kind of see their symptoms in you, to really feel reassured.
Yeah,
So,
I have
do you
actually a
have
list of my
a
symptoms
list?
in front of me.
Okay, yeah, I thought you might.
So, intense
It's
dizziness 24/7, dizziness before sleep. It got better actually with meditation before sleep. It was a big thing for me. It was one of the first symptoms that started to fade. It was actually, I didn't know when actually these symptoms went away, because yeah, I just don't know. I know what helped me. It was
yeah,
meditation
great.
before sleep.
Hmm.
So symptoms while walking, for sure. This is why the walking helped me so much to get better actually. And in a crowd, in a store, in a loud places, basically everywhere I was triggered. Um, I got actually also random rashes and teeth grinding in the night,
Mm.
and this is also a stress response. Um, I of course this is when I'm stressed, feeling where I'm when I'm on a carpet. I
Hmm.
don't know. It was so weird. I just
Yeah.
it was just a weird feeling when my feet was on a carpet. I don't know. The vertigo attacks, intense heartbeat, tingling legs and arms. Actually, when I was laying down, it was so weird, tingling. Like
Mm.
I was just, let's say, laying,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
my toes and my legs and arms are tingling. So fatigue, nausea, panic attacks, maybe because I can't diagnose a panic attack, but I guess
Oh well, it's pretty obvious when it happens, right?
yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
we don't need a doctor to tell us that. Yeah.
Um, no, I said a Bulgarian word.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna put subtitles anyway for everyone, so yeah, it'll probably come up in Bulgarian.
Stress and a lot of worry, for sure. For my health,
Mm.
sensitive to light and noise. I was working at place with like in the mall, it's a lot of light, a lot of crowd, a lot of noise. I was getting sometimes a lot triggered. There was one time that I had to go early
Mm.
in home. Actually, this was the day that I felt a lot of fear because I got the this vertigo attack again, and the feeling that something is going to happen to me. And I was calling my boyfriend, and I'm like, I'm 11 hours here. I have to be 11 hours here. Can you just, I don't know, come? I don't think I want to go home because I'm not like if
Mm.
I could manage it, I would stay for sure, but it was just so intense. And he was like, just go home. I will come. And you just say you will go home. And I'm like, I don't know. But
Mm.
actually, I went home and it was 4 p.m. And I was actually searching in the web for cardiologist. I wanted to go in the same day. I was like, I have to go to the doctor somewhere. I don't care. But uh, it it um it was too late when he came, so
Mm.
it was just a fear that manifested
Yeah.
in wanting to go somewhere, but
Yeah.
not staying in the workplace.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, a lot of worry for my health and the sensitivity. Also head pressure, headache, and even sometimes I got and brain zaps.
Yep.
Yeah,
So did I. Yeah.
it's a big list. It's like this big, and I'm just saying like this and that and this and
I
that.
know, I know. It's crazy to actually go back and to say it in this kind of casual way. We know everyone who's been through it and everyone who's going through it. We know it's not casual. We know how
Yeah,
horrible this is and how hard it can get. But I really am so appreciative to you for sharing all of this with me right now and with everyone watching. I think they're going to be so happy to see that they are not alone and that they can also get better. So I know it feels very weird to talk about it in this way. Um,
yeah,
and have you, is that, was that everything on the list in
yeah.
terms of
That is
symptoms?
everything. And actually now I only got dizzy when I'm stressed. Sometimes it
Mm-hmm.
is not. I don't. Uh, all the things that I mentioned, I don't have them anymore. Yeah, and the brain zaps was so weird. Like let's say I'm at work and looking at my phone and I'm like, who? What was that? I don't know.
Yeah.
It was so weird, like poof. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It gone quickly, this symptom. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
all of the symptoms after doing somatic tracking and breath work started to fade, but there was this the scary monster stayed.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
typically how it goes. You know, the ones that we fear the most tend to stay the longest.
yeah.
Yeah. So you said that somatic tracking and breath work, were you doing that every day?
Almost, yeah. Somatic tracking for first I wanted to do it every day. I got to a holiday in the sea actually, and
Mm-hmm.
this was one of the times that I actually didn't feel quite a lot of symptoms. Like let's say if I was walking a lot of in the night to go to this restaurant and then there. In the night I felt a little bit intense, but uh the other time I was fine. There were moments like this and days like this where I am somewhere, let's say at the pool, and I'm just feeling okay. Yeah, let's say a good distraction for me.
Mm.
Absolutely slapped the symptoms and were like, yeah, go away. I'm at the pool now.
Yeah, it's like engaging your brain in something that's fun. A, helps you feel safe, and B, just takes your mind off of the sensations, which is incredible. That's a great combination.
Yeah, I did it almost every day. It's
Yeah,
not that you have to be like, oh, I have to do this every day. I have to do this and that. It just
yeah.
it has to be a chill road.
Yes. Thank you for
Yeah.
saying that. Thank you for saying that because I think a lot of people, especially me in the very beginning, I had a whiteboard, I had a checklist of like, I have to do this and this and this every day. Otherwise, I'm not going to get better. But the second you can let that go and just kind of intuitively listen to what your body needs, would you say that's more of what you did?
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. It was a big thing for me to listen to my body
Yeah,
because sometimes you just have to do it. You can't ignore it your whole life.
yeah,
it was for sure a big thing to listen to my body.
yeah. Amazing. So, what does your life look like right now in terms of
So,
sensations?
um, yeah, now I actually do all the things that I want to do without any fear. Um, let's say I get sensations some days when I'm a little bit stressed or on
Mm.
edge, but
Hmm.
most of the times the fact that I'm doing all the things that I want to do despite the symptoms, it's just a huge thing for me because before I didn't wanted to even think about them, but now let's say if they're in a one room with you or one house and you have to talk with them, but they are like these crazy kids that can go up on top of the roof and you're like, calm down, I'm gonna slap you or something, come down off the roof. And they, when
Mm.
they are on top of the roof, you have to manage them.
Yeah,
When they are tense, you have to manage them, and the other times when they are with you sitting and just talking to them like there's something not to avoid because of, and in the start I avoided them, but they are not
yeah,
that scary.
yeah.
And
They're not that
after
scary.
time they will just leave the house and don't
Yeah,
do anything.
yeah. It's because you're responding to them differently. You're responding to them like maybe like a parent. You're imagining them as like crazy children who are out of control,
Yeah,
but actually what they really need, what the sensations really need from you is love and tenderness and support. And when you give them that, when you talk to them and say, "Okay, yeah, I hear you. You're afraid or you want to protect me from doing something," it's kind of like the sensations come up to let you know that something is not right. Um, but eventually you won't need that at all because you'll be so in tune with your body, which you are already. You're
yeah.
getting very, very, very good at that. I think it's just a matter of time for you now, right?
Yeah,
Just
for
go
sure
away.
it's a matter of time because I literally do anything that I want to do in every single my days. Let's say even if I get a little symptomatic in the night,
Mm,
for some minutes or something, the next day I just continue because I know why they're here and why they happen. Yeah,
hmm.
I
And
j- just they if they appear, I know why they're here, and in the next day I just continue doing the things that I want to do because it's not scary for me to do them. The things.
that's amazing. And do you have days of no symptoms
Yeah,
now?
for sure I have them.
Hmm. Were
I
are
got
they
them
more
in
often?
February 1st. First in February. No,
Yeah.
not the first in February,
No,
but in this
I get
month.
you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And
And
now,
actually, I remember maybe 2 weeks after I joined the program and learning about parts work and talking to the symptoms, I now imagine then I had to go to this concert and
mm,
there were a lot of lights and things, and I was feeling a little bit unsure if I should go because
mm,
I was scared to plan in the future because this concert was a future plan that I booked
mhm.
from November to December, and before that I imagined my symptoms like a little troll sitting here, and I'm like, oh, don't worry,
Oh,
nothing will happen.
I love that. That's amazing. Honestly, you kind of you took them to be this huge scary monster at the beginning and you changed it to be a little tiny baby who's like needs love from you. That's a huge mindset shift and it's so important to make it because it takes the seriousness out of it and it takes the fear out of it, which is exactly what we need. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's amazing. And so when you do get the odd sensation now, is it as intense as it was before?
no, it's just like because before I I did quite weird things to get to feel better. Like I was feeling better when I'm tense, but
Mm,
it's a stress response. This
yeah.
tensionness. Uh, but now I just
Mm,
It's not like before at all. It's not even not anything like before for sure.
hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. So you are basically living your normal life?
Yeah.
Wow.
I basically do live my normal life day to day,
Yeah,
and they don't stop me.
that's
The
amazing.
Yeah.
And when you say they don't, I think, because I think obviously you are, would you say that you are recovering? Because I think, I know you're not 100% yet, but you seem to be doing amazingly well, in your recovery. Um, Even a few months ago, you were talking in the community calls about how well you're doing. So it's been quite a few months of you actually doing really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and have the symptoms ever, they haven't ever come back in the way that they were before.
Yeah.
No, that's
I
amazing.
basically can consider myself recovered because not the fear is gone for sure. The symptoms are not like before. My emotional state is for sure better because when you don't know what's happening to you, it's so
Mm,
normal to feel all the bad emotions that can come with it. But actually knowing what is wrong and why they are
mm,
here can help you a lot. And
absolutely.
when I got that, I started to feel better. So now that I don't have this fear, I don't have this stress, I don't have these symptoms. Yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing. So would you say that you don't have symptoms most of the time?
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
That's amazing. Whereas a year ago you had 24/7 symptoms with even in your sleep. Like,
yeah. Even I literally was dizzy in my sleep. I was walking and I was dizzy, and now
yeah.
it's all that is gone. And I go out without any fear, without any symptoms. Yeah, basically sometimes they come, but it's not like before.
Yeah. Yeah, and it seems
Because
like it's not as often as before either.
yeah, if it's like before, they would get on top of the roof in the house, but I don't let them.
Yep. Yep. And how when they do show up now, do they go away quite quickly because you relate to them differently?
Yeah, they go away quickly, and that's why I can go on with my day and
Yeah.
the other day and the other day.
Yep. That's amazing. You are incredible, honestly. Honestly. I think if you could go back and like talk to your past self, what would you tell her first of all? What's like the most important thing she would need to know to get better?
For sure that she will not pass out.
Yeah.
This will be the
Yeah.
first thing, and to tell her that those symptoms will be here for some time, but they will for sure go away because your mind can achieve
Mm.
literally everything that you can think of. So if you
Yes.
think that you're able to recover, you will for sure be able. Because
Hmm.
if you think that they will stay here even when you're 60, that sounds silly, but you don't have to believe those thoughts because
Yeah.
it's scary to imagine yourself when if you are 60 and have symptoms, but it's so good to imagine yourself 60 and living your uh, good happy life
Yeah.
without those symptoms. And just you have to believe in the power within you and your mind, because if you can think it, you can achieve it. And for now, maybe my past self could have rested a little bit more,
Hmm.
but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but really it sounds like you want to say that that nothing bad was actually going to happen and to really trust that. Yeah.
yeah, and to know that she will get better for sure.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
knowing she will get better, and the symptoms are short-lived, that they are here because of stress, but you don't know that right now, but you will for sure find out, and
Hmm.
then feel better, and then more better, and then
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. It
and
sounds
just
like,
trust the process and take the time to heal.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It sounds like your biggest shifts were with your mindset, which I think has to happen for everyone. In order to recover, yes, we need to make sure that we feel physically safe, which is, with the somatic tracking and the breath work. maybe some meditations, like you said, before you went to sleep that really helped you.
Yeah.
Those practices are amazing. But if we don't believe those practices are actually going to help us, then it will feel even more difficult,
Yeah,
right?
it will take more time for sure. And
Yeah.
actually doing the practices, and if you do them but feeling things fear towards the symptoms, then it will take a lot of time also because you fear them basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think it sounds like visualization and like more kind of I'm gonna say spiritual tools, not in any woo-woo way, even though we all love the woo-woo. But it's actually
Yeah.
it's grounded in science now, really. I mean, Joe Dispenza's work alone, it's incredible and it shows just how powerful the brain and body are. But it sounds like you had to really get into the belief that says, I can do this. There's no reason for me not to recover, that I'm safe, and that you said that you kind of visualize yourself at 60, like living your normal life. That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah. I actually visual I like some time to take for myself and like let's say go out in my garden in the hammock. I
Mm.
don't I can say this word in English,
That's
but
okay. In the garden, I
yeah,
say the garden.
yeah, in the garden and just imagine myself and it's not even the 60 thing.
Yeah,
It can be quite anything. Like you can
yeah,
imagine and visualize yourself now and the thing you want to do today and doing it literally fine, or the next day the thing you want to do and doing it fine with
Mhm.
happiness and no symptoms and literally anything.
Yes, absolutely. Visualization is so powerful because it gets your brain into the mode of believing that it's possible. It kind of opens the door for that reality to
Yeah,
come.
because for me anything that you can think of you can achieve, and if you can visualize it, it just reassures the brain that this will happen.
Yep,
Because literally anything that you can think of, you can have. Literally anything, because the fact that you are
yep,
thinking it, you can have it. The
yep.
fact that you can think it, it's just a proof. Yeah,
Absolutely. I love that. I love that so much. And you know what? I think I haven't really seen many recovery stories of dizziness with people with this mindset, you know? And that's it's not to say that no one is that everyone is wrong or there's a right and wrong way to recover. Absolutely not. But this is so powerful. This mindset is really powerful and you recovered in like I'd say and it's not even been 2 years or actually maybe
yeah. It's not 2 years. It's
yeah.
year and almost a half. Let's
Mm.
say when I hit the half, I will just let the symptoms go to the door and be like, if you want to come back, I will talk to you, yeah. But don't go on the
No, not on
roof.
the roof. Get down from the
Yeah,
roof. Yes. And they likely won't go on the roof anymore. They won't come back. It won't be like it was because you've learned so much. Like there's no
yeah,
way it can ever be like it was before. Um, and now it seems like you have a very different relationship with your body. And so the sensations, it's like it's just bodily noise. It's just like, okay, I'm not sick. I don't have a chronic illness. It's just my body talking to me.
yeah. And also, being in the community and all that stuff, and really going through this, um, helped me get in a different relationship with stress alone, because before I didn't quite pay attention to my body and the stress that I felt. I was just going through life like this. Even
Mm.
though I meditate and have a gratitude journaling and all that stuff, if it comes about the bad emotions, I just let them
Mm. Yeah,
be, or
yeah,
react in a negative way when they're here. And now it's not like this. Or this whole journey just changed the relationship with those things for me, because before I didn't even, let's say, know what stress is.
yeah.
Basically I know what it is, but going to this just opens a
Mm.
lot of doors for get to knowing those emotions that are more negative.
Yeah. And shifting your relationship with that, what do you think was the practice that helped you shift your relationship with those emotions the most?
Just relating differently to them. Just when I'm stressed, let's say express it more and be
Mhm.
honest with myself that I feel this way right now and acknowledging it, not just continuing with my day and feeling those emotions, because when you acknowledge them, it becomes easier to deal with them throughout the day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, like you said in the beginning, when you kind of were just you knew that you were angry or stressed, but you didn't really talk to that emotion. You kind of just bulldozed straight through.
yeah,
Um, but and sometimes that feels like we're doing the right thing. Like, okay, well, I don't want to focus my energy there because it doesn't feel good. But actually, when we do notice these emotions, we can speak to them as if they were different parts of us, like you said, like children, naughty
yeah.
children, wanting our attention. And actually, we realize that they're not trying to ruin our day. They're just either it's momentum from, the day before, or we woke up in a bad mood and it kind of takes over our day, or there's some real emotional triggers happening on a daily basis. But either way, we have to start realizing that this is not a problem. It's just my body expressing itself. You
Yeah,
know?
because every emotion is just emotion. They are here for a reason. And actually, I believe that we are the only planet and place that we can feel all of the emotions.
Mm,
Like, you can
yeah.
feel love one day, and the other you will feel so angry about the
Yeah.
person that you love, and you just get. It's a place that you can feel all of the emotions, and that doesn't mean that you don't have to feel the bad emotion.
Exactly. Bad emotions, they're not even bad. They feel bad. They feel bad
Yeah,
for sure. But to know that they are not actually dangerous or they don't have to be a problem. Yeah, it's a huge mindset shift. It's just like allowing yourself to be a human being and feel everything that you feel.
yeah, it is so normal, but people tend to think it's bad. But
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. I think that's a huge part of recovery, actually, knowing that because I felt the same way. If I felt like I was going to get angry, I didn't want to get angry in case I made the sensations worse, right? But realizing that, okay, yeah, this is an emotion that my body has for a reason, so I probably should express it. And
yeah,
even just, punching a pillow, crying, shaking your body, going for a walk if you can, moving your body in some way, that even that is expressing the emotion, you know?
yeah. Always expressing those emotions. It's better to express
Mm,
them. It's just a
yeah.
lot better.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. Well, I think your story is absolutely amazing. Um, do you have any kind of what would you say to someone who is right at the beginning of the journey where you were before? What would you say to them right now?
For sure, if you're in the beginning, let's say if you want to have the medical clearance, yeah, have it. It's important.
Definitely
But
important.
when you do it and after you got your answers or you don't have them, know and remind yourself the power of your brain and all of the things that you can achieve if you think about them. Just and believe in yourself and your ability to recover, and just know that this is not a life sentence for sure, and you will feel better in no time if you just took the time to heal, to
Hmm.
just heal. And let's say it's sometimes not quite easy to feel better emotionally when you have this, but try to have better moments where you just maybe go out and forget about them
Mm,
and have
yeah,
the time for yourself to heal and know that this is for sure not a life sentence.
that's beautiful. I love that so much. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Diana. That's amazing. And just quickly, it is difficult to feel better emotionally when you have these sensations. And like you rightly said, I think taking a moment to feel a little bit less, even just less afraid or less negative, more neutral. It doesn't even have to be positive because I think a lot of people think, do I have to think positively all the time? But like we've said, it's not about that. It's more just getting yourself into a better feeling place, and that doesn't have to be positive. It just means better than it was before.
Yeah. And even if it's just a moment, it will make a lot of difference
Hmm.
because you have a moment to not focus on the symptoms, and
Yeah.
you have a moment to actually try to feel better. And if it's not happening from the first time, it will get better for sure on the fifth, let's say. Like
Yeah.
my thing with the meditation before sleep. But for sure, for anyone that go to this is for sure not a life sentence.
Hmm.
If
Yeah.
you have better feeling moments, you will for sure have a better feeling days.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that doesn't have to be better feeling physically, because some people have them 24/7 and they're like that nothing is changing. But if you can get Abraham Hicks, for all those people who love Abraham Hicks like me, she's a very spiritual teacher and she has this thing called segment intending, which is basically just saying, for the next 5 minutes, I intend to feel a little better. I'm going to look for evidence of well-being, like I said in the beginning. I'm going to find reasons to feel better. And even if it's just emotional, it's so powerful, right? Because we can't ignore the sensations. They're gonna be there, but we cannot analyze them. We cannot focus on them too much. And when we allow space in our brain for both the dizziness and joy or ease or freedom, and we can feel two things at once. And if
Yeah.
we give it space to grow, it will grow. And when we focus more on how we want to feel emotionally first, your brain has no choice but to amplify that feeling because it's doing the same thing when we focus on how we don't want to feel, right? The symptoms feel a lot worse. Yeah. But
Yeah.
your brain is extremely powerful, and Diana, you are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your story. I think everyone's gonna love you and love love what you have to say. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, Megan, also for having me. And I know we talked about this, but I dreamt of having a recovery story. And now
Yes.
I will
Yes.
probably have it. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we you spoke about one day being on a recovery story, and here you are.
Yeah, it
You
was a
are.
dream of mine. I thought about it a year ago, and
Wow.
now here it is. So just we have to remind ourselves the power of the brain.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. I'm so excited for you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you that you are at this stage now. And thank you for trusting me with your journey. It's been an absolute privilege having you in the community. You've been a real support for other people going through this as well. You're so inspirational. Yeah, thank you, honestly.
Yeah. Thank you, Megan. For sure,
All right.
I cannot express my gratitude towards you.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Thank you so much, Diana. Wow, that means honestly the world to me. I mean, if people want to ask you any questions in the comments, is that okay?
Yeah, I'm also fine with having my Instagram somewhere to
Okay.
ask me personally if they want. I am open for any conversation that they want to open with me and just talk.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I really appreciate that. I'm sure they do as well. I will link your Instagram in the description, and I'm sure if anyone wants to comment, Diana will come back in and answer any questions as
Yeah, I
well.
will for sure.
All right, amazing. I'm going to stop the recording now and we'll just have a little chat afterwards, okay, Diana? Thank you
Yeah.
everyone for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure to interview the lovely Diana, and I hope I'm actually going to be interviewing someone else next week. It's like June is the month of recovery stories apparently. So I look forward to that as well, but this will be my first one, which is amazing. So thank you, Diana.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you so much for watching this recovery interview. I hope you got a lot out of this because Diana is absolutely amazing. And I really hope that it reminded you that recovery is not only possible, but inevitable. And if this story resonated with you, I would absolutely love to support you inside my Retrain Your Brain program. You will learn the exact tools I use to rewire my nervous system, shift out of fear, change my thought patterns, my mindset, and generally overcome the symptoms. I will leave the link to join in the description below. I'm also leaving linking the link for my recovery community. If you find that you want that more community support, please feel free to join there as well. And if you're not quite ready for a full program just yet, that's totally fine. I'm also going to link my mini course below, which is a very low cost way of starting your journey on the right foot. Once again, thank you so much for joining me and Diana today. I really hope this has lit a fire within you to know that you can recover. I'll see you next time.